Hello and welcome back to the Little Scale Cars YouTube channel. Today, in the review box, we are doing a showcase of the new for 2023 Nissan Skyline GTR R32. Now, the casting's not new. The only thing new about it is the deco, which in this particular case is very unique and very interesting and something we should talk about. So let's get into it. Alright, so we'll go ahead and get started with the casting. Now, this is not a new casting, and it is actually a customized version of an R32. So it's not anything we're going to look over like super closely or like compare to the real life version to see how accurate it is. We're just going to go ahead and give it a little once over so you can admire all the details that are packed in, all the little customized bits. There's actually a little intake where this headlight is, if you don't put headlight decals on like I have. So that's something that's actually a bit of detailing that I'm kind of covering up there. But that is your casting. Pretty simple, pretty unique. As far as details go, there really aren't many. These front headlights are not supposed to be there. I've added those on. Those are decals that I have added on myself. There's really nothing going on as far as like tampo details or anything, because that's mostly for the deco. But when we do come to the rear, we do get taillights, we do get a Nissan written out up there, and we do get a GTR logo here. So you do get some nice little rear details. So if you can just take care of the front detail issues like I have, the detailing is actually pretty nice. For our paint and deco, so this is obviously where this car shines in this particular release, I should say, since this is by no means a new casting. We have the nice Godzilla livery on the side there. We even got some slash marks, some like claw marks basically here with the blue that matches the atomic breath color, really good. We've got Gojira written out here in Japanese characters. We've got Godzilla here. We've got kind of like this dot matrix in the background, which looks really cool. We even have like an inaccurate Godzilla. And what do I mean by that? Well, the R32 was in production in the 90s. It was like 89 to 94 or something like that. And coincidentally, this version of Godzilla was mostly on screen with only slight variation between 89 and like 95, I believe. So they actually used an accurate version of Godzilla to the time period for this particular version of the Skyline, which I think is a really cool touch. I'm not sure if they did that intentionally, use this version of Godzilla for this generation of Skyline, but I have to imagine they did because that just looks amazing. But yeah, this is the real highlight to this car, and as far as I know, this is the only version we're going to get. I don't think we're getting like a recolor in black or blue or anything with the Godzilla on the side. It also comes with that custom card art that is super nice and just a really cool collab, I think. And yeah, the deco itself makes this worth it in my opinion. So being a mainline, it rolls and it rolls extremely smoothly. That shouldn't be surprising. As far as strengths go, the deco, obviously. That's the only reason I'm even talking about this, since, like we mentioned before, this is not a new casting. The deco and the collab is so cool. Just to get the car that is known as Godzilla with a Godzilla deco, when Godzilla is my favorite movie franchise of all time, is super cool, especially for me. And like I said, the touch of the period correct Godzilla on for the car that would have been out during that time is just super cool. There was like 5 or 6 movies during the time frame that this car was in production, and the Godzilla basically looked like this in all of those movies, which is super cool. And this is a collab that even Hot Wheels designers were surprised that they were able to do. When they first unveiled this car at one of the conventions, they were talking about they were pretty surprised that Toho, the people who have control of the Godzilla license and name, allowed them to do that in such a cool, crazy way. And I'm very glad that they decided to do it as well. So what would I do differently about this? Well, there's really only one thing I would change, and all I would do is, instead of this custom R32 casting, which does have behind this headlight kind of a weird intake in where the headlight would normally be, and just overall is not particularly my cup of tea. I would have just used the stock R32 casting personally, because there is one and it looks phenomenal. It's a really good casting. That's what I would have done. I would have just stuck this deco on the stock R32 casting. But that being said, this does give some like drift vibes, I guess. So it's pretty cool too. And for some quick size comparisons, here we have it next to the Hot Wheels Nissan Skyline R34 and the Hot Wheels Nissan Skyline 2000 GTR Liberty Walk version. And here we have it with some other random JDM cars you might have in your collection, with the Hot Wheels Liberty Walk Nissan Silvia S15 and the Matchbox Moving Parts Mitsubishi Lancer Celeste. So it is now time to give my overall thoughts. And I think I'm going to go ahead and give this one a 9.8 out of 10. Because the only things that I would really want to see different is I do wish we would have gotten headlights. I understand why we didn't, because they can't put tampos on that many sides. So not really the end of the world there. And then I do wish it had just been the stock R32 casting instead of the custom R32 casting. But at the same time, I do kind of understand, and putting Godzilla on this casting at least does fit the vibe of this casting. But that being said, those are the only two really things I would change. This is absolutely, whether you are a Nissan fan, just a car fan in general, a JDM fan, or if you're like me and you're just a massive car fan and you're a massive Godzilla fan, even if you're not into cars and you're just a Godzilla fan, this is absolutely something you need in your collection. This is a car that I'm not even particularly excited about, but just the deco itself makes this one of the most exciting releases of the year for me, and I'm absolutely thrilled that I was able to get my hands on one. And with that, guys, that is all I have for this showcase. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you leave a like down below, subscribe if you are new, and leave a comment telling me what your thoughts are on this particular release, and I will see you in the next video.